so this bedroom... Trillo, get back there. There's dirt in here that I can't seem to right-click to clean up. Really? You're just gonna... There we go. Sometimes figuring out where the dirt is located is a real pain in the you-know-what. Yeah, it looks a bit like Normandy. This is an absurd amount of blood. But it is a plentiful amount of bodies. So, I am not complaining. Alright, you're going to haul 75 steel, not 5. Because in this universe, we actually put work in. I guess I'll patch her up too. I ore that, maybe. And I'm just about done with this hill root here. I'm already starting to harvest some. I will put heel root, although heel root takes a very long time to spoil. I will put it in my kitchen area because I don't want it to spoil if I can help it. And now I can also expand my kitchen area to this weird blob. The tight spaces. So for this room, it's just because I didn't want to spend all of my silver making this a sterile area. Because now that it's sterile, I have a 120% research speed because the room is clean. But it did cost me, I don't know, much silver? Let's see. It cost me 360 silver to do it, which is almost half the silver I have, which is why I was resistant. But the rest of this area, no, there's no real good reason for it being really, really, really small. One thing I'm going to do is just change this airlock so that it frees up a lot more space. But actually, this room will be spacious soon. And I think that's the only tight room that I have left to have fixed. Because this room is fine. It's not spacious, so I'm missing that buff, but it's slightly impressive and it's not cramped. So I don't really have any more cramped rooms. I mean, the way it counts is, if you look, somewhat spacious, rather tight, but not in a bad way. And soon my little dining room will be rather spacious as well. So, but mostly it was, I designed it tight like this out of utility because I didn't have a lot of room initially and I didn't want to have a large, expansive, and hard to maintain base. Hard to maintain being one of the problems right now. So, who is my... Oh, I see. Let's lift Griffith's restrictions temporarily, and before those bodies get spoiled, because he wasn't allowed in the trap area and doesn't know that he can just reach through the doors, there were some wargs that weren't being processed. They're being processed now, though. That's interesting. I didn't realize they couldn't just reach into a neighboring cell and just do it that way. But that's fine. All right, so we're getting the walls built here, which will allow me to break this down, which will make this door not an impassable trap. That was a mistake of mine, and I am now fixing that. I'm still cleaning up blood, and I suspect I'll be cleaning up blood for quite some time to come from this raid. It's just an absurd amount of blood. So let's check these. Decent bedroom, and it's awful, but I think it's because it has blood in it. And probably dirt. So I don't think it will be awful forever. So Griffiths is throwing a little party here. I'm going to try to haul out all the ugly stuff before the party really gets going, so people have a better buff. And prioritize cleaning some of the dirt. So let's see the beauty here. There we go. It's pretty in there now. And I'm actually... Oh, Griffith just woke himself up. Or Trillo. I forget which one it was. And now they're... they have all attended the party, I believe. Yes. They've all attended the party, so they're fine. Yeah, eventually I can have some IED explosive traps built in on the back end of this sort of trickle feeder trap. I don't have that research, but it would make sense to include something like that in the near future, for sure. I'm really trying to push towards geothermal right now because I have one geothermal vent inside of my radius that's pretty easily accessible, and another one just south of me, which wouldn't be that hard to expand to either. So geothermal will be my first research, but then probably machining, and then IEDs? I'm not sure. Haven't really thought ahead that far. Squirrel has self-tamed. Well, that's a mistake, as you guys know what I'm going to do to him. I'm going to put him at home. So I've got Griffiths here. Oh, there's even a part here. Let's deconstruct this as well. There's some ship debris, and because I'm low on components, it helps a lot. So what's happening? For everyone that has tuned in, I've been streaming for about 50 minutes now. I did have one incident where someone was moderately wounded, and it took him so long to defeat the centipede that he was fighting that he succumbed to an infection. Barely, just barely, but succumbed nonetheless. Which was unfortunate, but I'm going to take great care for that not to be repeated. I thought he would pull through. Alright, so Jen just got sick from plague. That's one of my prisoners. And I believe Griffiths is the doctor on call. He is currently sleeping, but I'm going to wake him up and treat Jen to actual medicine this time. In fact, that reminds me, I'm going to treat everyone to some herbal medicine from here on out, because I am now growing herbal medicine, so it will be cheaper to supply it. So I've got a boom rat here. Alright. So Davies is going to deconstruct that stuff. I've got the boom rat coming in quick. I'm actually just going to pull my people back. If Gwen would listen to me in a reasonable amount of time, which she has not. Because boom rats are annoying and they explode on you. Once I get through this doorway, this boom rat not likely to follow very far. Griffith, you're sort of not listening to the commands I am directing you. Alright, so now the boom rat's dead. I'll have Gwen sleep, which only really levels up Griffith's ability to do medicine. Yeah, it's close. It's just behind two auto doors. It's a difference of a minute or two. Not going to kill anyone if they can't reach it immediately. Actually, the reason why Morgan died was he how did it rot? Oh, I have some that isn't in proper storage. Good job, you guys. The reason he died was that he went hunting while infected, even though I put him on bed rest, so he got himself back up, and that caused the infection to only get worse. That was the chief problem. And there will be ups and downs. It's unfortunate that it was a very, very avoidable first death, because I've been doing pretty good here avoiding pointless deaths. But what can you do? So at this point, looking around the base, there are some additional security measures I could install. Of course, someone mentioned IEDs, which would be nice if I had the research. You know what peeves me a little bit? So the settings on this map are the most amount of possible rain, and yet I've not received any, so it's like, what the hell, guys? So I'm going to put a crafting spot here for smoke leaf. And then I'm just going to put a stockpile here of smoke leaf. And maybe put a stockpile, or just allow smoke leaf leaves to be stored in there so they don't spoil. Which would be raw resources and plant matter. Yes. There we go. I was actually giving real medicine, this, not Glitter World, but real medicine for the plague. Or for his infection, rather. Yeah, if the settings are actually Cassandra Classic on Extreme, Rainy Random can be harder, but it can also be easier. There's not a really good flow of events sometimes. I've played a lot of Randy Random because I like when he is punishing and sends me raid after raid after raid, but sometimes he'll just keep sending nice things over and over and over, which is boring. Hey, that's my food. That's not your food. Good shot, Gwen. I guess she has one arm trying to wield a sniper rifle, so I can't blame her. But that is a wee bit pathetic there. Trillo, can you do better? Nope. Oh, there you go. Trillo can do better. I take it back. Yeah, Randy Random Extreme is a lot of fun, but then on the flip side of the equation, you have times where it's just like, you know, escape pod, wanderer joins, escape pod, wanderer joins, escape pod, wanderer joins, and you're like, alright, thanks. Now the wealth of my colony is ridiculous, and the next event you send me is going to plow me into the earth, you know? I mean, I can appreciate some of the random, but it's not always for the best. So it looks like I do need an additional cooler here. Gonna get that set up sooner than later, because I'm having some warg meat spoil. I certainly don't have a food scarcity. I have lots and lots and lots of corn. I've got almost 1,000 corn sitting around. Probably even more. No, about 1,000. 990. So not scarce on food, but I'm gonna keep it from rotting if I can help it. So here I'm planning on expanding my security further, because I wait for the enemies to enter the zone. Yeah, this plague will take out this prisoner. Don't really care about the prisoner though, because I wait for them to enter the kill box before flicking on the turrets. This way, I'll be able to set up the scenario so that they get hammered by lots of turrets from all angles, rather than just a few at a time, you know, from the front. And we have a pirate raid who wants to use sappers. So let's see what kind of explosives they have for sapping. They have a sniper rifle, an LMG, melee, charge rifle, Molotov cocktails. So they're planning on burning things, not exploding things, which changes my plan of attack for sure. so one thing I'm going to do is Griffiths, I'm going to allow outside of the no trap zone so he can... Whoop, that's not wise. So they're sapping here. Alright, so they're just going to dig away at that. I'll get behind my wall, ready to just snipe whoever comes through. They're just throwing Molotovs at a granite wall. My turrets are going to town. I'm sure they'll explode, especially this one, but that'll take the meleeers out. At least one of them. My shooters no longer have target acquisition. Some people killed themselves on traps. These two people I'll put on extinguishing, and I didn't even really have to do very much. They sort of killed themselves on my defenses. And I'm going to take a step out here so I can profit on their bodies, or try to, because God knows they're having a little bit of an issue shooting. That's what got Morgan dead in the first place. Oh, but they did get General. Well, let's see, he is a pyromaniac. Another pyromaniac. That's like 3 out of 5 that have been pyromaniacs so far. But regardless, the weapons I've been getting from these have been very valuable. That is most annoying. To beat this fire out, I must punch a hole in my base. Reasons not to back a comms console into a wall, I suppose. So I'm going to haul these weapons in, or at least the ones I think will sell well, as fast as I can. More slag. More slag for my defensive perimeter. So he will possibly sell well. I'm going to queue up a trade request with this tribe, the blue, whatever they are, the blue monkey Billa. I want to say balls, but I guess it's Billa. And call in some slavers. I am out of proper meals again, so we'll queue that back up. Oh, I've got a grizzly bear outside. I do have to watch my back, apparently. So how many bodies do we have here? 4? I will need more graves. So some of them had some good stuff on them, especially the ones that had personal shields, because personal shields don't get tagged as dead man's gear. So I think this person had a personal shield, 81, which will allow Griffiths to get a little close and dirty now, because he is our meleeer. Yeah, pyros, I would agree, are one of my least favorite. I mean, certainly, depending on the situation, there can be other traits that are less desirable, but I would have to say, as a whole, pyromaniacs are my biggest hatred, just because unless you keep them perfectly happy, they end up potentially burning down your base, and they never fight fires. And fires, you know, are really very possible damaging to your base. I've had many a base go up in flames, which is why I always try to implement some fire foam poppers as soon as I can in most of my designs. Because all it takes is one little fire and all of a sudden you've lost everything you've worked towards.